Hi there, here is yet another exciting video on how to pick the correct ratio. It's so important. If you don't get the right ratio, then your whole question is going to be wrong. Or what often happens is you're picking the wrong, you're trying to calculate the top angle and you end up calculating the bottom angle, and students just get super frustrated. So this practice before you start is going to make your life easier. And all we're worried about right now is picking which one of the 3 trig functions you're going to use to solve the question. We are not solving the question. Don't care, doesn't matter. So let's get at it. I think in the last one, what I figured out is I find it much easier if I do a bunch of questions, I label them all, and then I do the rest of the work. It's just like imagine you're making a sandwich. You got to make sandwiches for 10 people. Most people don't get out the bread, put in the peanut butter, close it up, cut it up, and then go to the next sandwich. Most people would lay out 20 pieces of bread, put peanut butter on all of them, put them all together, and then cut them all at once. I find in math, if I have a bunch of similar questions, I will tend to do that because then my brain is only worried at one thing at a time. But that's just me. Now, considering this is, I think, the 3rd video like this, you probably can shut off the video, do all the questions. If you're not sure, although you should be by now, do them in pencil, and then turn the video on to make sure it's all good. Okay, so turn the video off. I'm gonna trust you did that. All right, let's get started. So here's my square corner. So I'm gonna go across. This is gonna give me my hypotenuse. And then we go around the angle. This is adjacent, and this is opposite. And I'm going to do that for all of them. So there's my hypotenuse. There's my 90-degree angle across. It's going to be my hypotenuse. Around the corner is adjacent, and this is opposite. And if you want to write an H, an A, and an O, enjoy. When I learned this stuff, that's what I wrote, so I still write it today. I'm sounding old. Okay, just keep going. Boop, boop. Cross, there's my hypotenuse. Around the corner, it's my adjacent and opposite. Those triangles all look kind of the same here, but that's okay. Boop, there's my hypotenuse. Around my angle and opposite. Now, remember, it just happens to be that all the angles are kind of in the bottom left side. If the angle was, well, we'll get there. If it was in something else, that's where you go. You always travel. It's not always down the hypotenuse. It's towards the angle. All right, so on this one, let's use my calculator. What did they give us? Well, we have the adjacent side. We have a number. And we have the opposite. That's the one I'm looking for. And you know what? I'm going to do that. There's my X. There's my number. There's my X. There's my number. I like highlighters. It makes me concentrate better. So on this one, I have the adjacent and opposite sides. So when I go through here, this is sine. It asks for opposite hypotenuse. So that's no good. Adjacent hypotenuse, no, it's going to be tangent. Theta. And I think in this one, no, you know what? I want practice. Opposite over adjacent. I'm going to write that out every single time. It's like when you're a little kid and you're doing spelling words and you would write them out 10 times, every one that you got wrong. Right, and if we look here, look, we got adjacent and opposite. There is opposite and adjacent, and that's what we need. So tan theta, opposite over adjacent. All right, look at this. Now we have adjacent and hypotenuse. So here's a hypotenuse, here's the one, adjacent and hypotenuse. So this is going to be cos theta. And let's check out this one. So it's got hypotenuse. So to me, my brain right away says that's going to be either sine or cos. And then we look at the other one, And that says it's going to be sine because that's the one with opposite and hypotenuse. Got it? Now, if you were feeling uncomfortable and you didn't stop the video, I bet you could stop it now and give it a shot. Okay, so I hope you did. And here's the bottom part. Same thing. I'm going to do the same process. It seems to be working really good for me. So I go across, hypotenuse, go around the corner where my angle is, and this is adjacent, and this is opposite. Here's my hypotenuse. And I'm going to go around the corner, adjacent, opposite. Ooh, look at this one. Finally, it changed the orientation on my triangle. So there's my hypotenuse. And it's to you, which makes more sense to you. You can either think of the hypotenuse as the one that is across from the 90-degree angle, or you certainly can think of it as the longest side. Either one's going to be the same. So there's my hypotenuse. Now look at this. Oh, no, we're still, yeah, kind of going uphill here, which means this is going to be adjacent, and this is opposite. And our last one here, there's my hypotenuse, around the corner, adjacent, and opposite. All right. So I'm going to highlight where I've either got a given bit of information or something I'm looking for. So adjacent and opposite, opposite and adjacent, opposite and adjacent, and hypotenuse and adjacent. All right, so here's something I've remembered is that if you have the two sides, like not the hypotenuse, but the other two sides, then it's tangent right away. Right? So I can see this one, adjacent and opposite, adjacent and opposite, adjacent and opposite. These three are all tangent. And it just saves me a little bit of time because I don't really have to think that much. It's anytime I have hypotenuse in there, I know it's either going to be sine or cos, so I need to be a little more careful to make sure I grab the right one. And this one specifically is hypotenuse and adjacent, so that is cos theta, right? Because it's ka is adjacent over hypotenuse. All right, sweet. That is the end of that video. There is one more in this series. Now, if you have done the first three and you are completely comfortable with this and frankly kind of bored, feel free to skip it over. But if you're still practicing or you want to be good, you can watch it right away. Or a really good idea might be to skip this, and then before you do, I don't know, a hand-in assignment, or you write a midterm or a final or something like that, you could do that one just as some practice at that point. Remember, you are cool, and so is math.